This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I'm your host, Marcus, and today's game will be pitting the Benchwarmer team of Ede and Scott.
No.
What?
No.
What?
No, we can't have this. We can't have the revenge game to finally occur. We need to delay this longer, and Scott and I are gonna go ahead and say screw that. So you're gonna have the guest play with Ede tonight. So
Okay.
I didn't agree to this.
Tough.
So this game will be pitting the Benchwarmer team of Scott and Matt versus Eric Ede and enemy of the pod, Jake Manne. Welcome back to the bench, Jake. Why don't you give us a minute to maybe tell us how you're processing playing with Ede and also how you're doing?
Yeah, doing well. It's been a while. I've been hiding from this moment, and then it didn't even happen.
Oh my God, he just keeps talking.
I hope it's like at least like, when Rocky and Apollo team up and it's like a good thing in the end.
So one of us is dead at the end?
So one of you dies. Got it.
3, not 4. 3, not 4.
Oh, all right.
All right. So Jake and Eric, what's your team name? Eric, how are you doing?
I was fine. Now I'm nauseous, a little just dizzy. Other symptoms that might, I don't know. Wasn't expecting this. I was hoping rather just to play by myself.
Jeez.
Oh, you're talking about the game? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, anyway, really. So, with all that said, my excitement, you can all hear it. So just, spur of the moment team name. Jake, you don't know what our team name is, so here it is. Our team name today is I would rather have herpes.
Oh boy. All right. Super excited to say that over and over again. Scott and Matt, how are you both doing? And can I have your team name, por favor?
Well, mark it on your bingo card because I'll go first because Scott has our team name. I'm good. Nothing new, nothing controversial, nothing crazy in my world. Just excited for summer. So, Scott.
It's a terrific poster you got there behind you.
Thank you. That's my BTP flag I have behind me. So
Yeah.
if anybody's interested, you can't purchase them on our TeePublic store, but you can take our logo and go onto Amazon and have a flag.
No, you can't. You can't take our logo, Matt.
I did.
I'm going to get a full back tattoo.
If anybody wants a BTP flag, let me know. I will get one made for you and charge you nothing except for the fact that you get a BTP flag.
So you're giving out free flags. I give out free herpes, so it's okay.
I'm good. I'm ready to get this. I'm ready to get this game underway. Because now apparently instead of teaming with the Juggernaut, I have to face two of them. Matt and I, we're gonna see if we can do what everyone is wondering, and our team name is gonna be, can we cover the spread?
I put the Marcus, you're the gambler. What's the over under on what's the spread here? What do you think? They're going to beat us by 250 or more? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, it depends on how we score this game. Is there an odd one out?
Like Eve, Dan, Lux are all guys who really drastically alter the spread either way.
Not Jake.
No.
Enemy of the pod does not. I'll set this. But you guys are good trivia players. Let's not take away that from you. I'll set the line at plus. Well, if I was doing it based off of like an actual sports line, not if I tried to do it with our scoring, it would take me forever. I'll say you guys are plus 10.5.
10.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna lose by At least 150.
All you gotta say is just they're what plus 200 for this.
Yeah,
100 bet gets you 200.
Yeah, money
There you
line. Money line. Yeah, all right.
You know what else
Okay.
alters the spread? Herpes.
Herpes.
That does change the spread quite a bit. Might not be as much spread. Gets my
Listen,
drift.
I'm not on recordings much anymore, so this is going to be bad.
Okay, so now that we've established this tone for the game, let's kick it over to Dan for the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
And our first quarter will be sporting haikus.
Sporting haikus. For this quarter, there will be 4 questions in haiku form. Each question is worth 25 points.
Question 1 in sporting haikus. Slovakian wing, Wild all-time goal scorer, 3rd overall pick.
We can check in.
I'd rather have herpes, which is a team name, has checked in. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out.
I think this has got to be Marian Gabrick.
I know that name.
Slovak. I think he's Slovakian. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
3rd overall pick, so maybe 3rd overall pick in the draft that he was in, or 3rd overall.
Yeah, I would
pick
imagine
from the draft. So
3rd overall pick in like an NHL fantasy, like on the video games. If you start,
I'm wondering if it's the 3rd overall pick in that draft, or if he was the 3rd overall pick by the Wild in like the expansion draft or something like that, or the first draft or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Don't overthink
I don't
it.
know. I think the all-time goal scorer for the Wild is Marian Gabrick. So
It's a guy that I've heard of, so let's do it.
yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, and I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys have?
I mean, the Wild are bad, right? Like normally, they don't really have a lot of all-time anything. But yeah, it's Gabrick.
And both teams are receiving points. The first ever draft pick by the Minnesota Wild, 3rd overall in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
The correct answer is Marian Gabrick, who, when I was working at Pro Image, I wanted to buy that Rangers Marian Gabrick jersey so badly because I just liked it. And yeah, he's always just been a player that I enjoyed, because when I was like the first time I ever paid attention to hockey.
I remember in 2000, I was at a store and they had a Wild, like a sweatshirt with the logo. I was like, I don't, is that the new team that we have? I wasn't even really paying attention. And I bought it. And I remember because I was working in politics and I was like door knocking and stuff. And I was talking to people and they were like, what is that shirt you're wearing?
That's amazing.
That's like
What
the
is
new
this?
hockey team that they got in St. Paul. And they're like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. Now
There's
everyone-
no hockey team.
Yeah. So
All right, let's move on to question 2 in sporting haikus. 6th round pick RB, Michigan all-time rusher, seizure on sideline.
We're checked in.
I'd rather have herpes has checked in. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out.
none of this sounds familiar to me. So if you got somebody, then go for it.
I think it might be Mike Hart. I feel like I remember something about him having a seizure on the sideline, and 6th round sounds about right for him because he wasn't, unfortunately, he wasn't a highly touted prospect despite how good he was in the mid-2000s at Michigan. So if you don't have anything else, I say we just go with that. I don't know why Jake is getting wheelhouse questions on his 29th appearance, but it's fine. We're going to check in with Mike Hart.
And I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys have?
Yeah, it's Mike Hart. It happened this year. He had the seizure on the Michigan sideline.
Yeah, he's like an assistant coach or something, right?
Yeah, he's a running backs coach.
And both teams are receiving points. The correct answer is the original muscle hamster, Mike Hart. I love Mike Hart. And man, did one game torpedo everyone's draft stock worse than the App State game?
That's fair.
Like, it was all downhill for everybody on that team.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was just so good that was the first Big Ten Network game and only 4 people could watch it. Like
Right.
that was the best part of that game for me as a Michigan fan. Is I was watching like the ESPN dots moving on the screen.
All right. Let's move on to question 3 in Sporting Haikus. All-Pro linebacker, Bills all-time leader tackles, College Hall of Fame.
We're going to check in, Marcus.
Okay, can we cover the spread has checked in? I'd rather have herpes. You can talk it out.
Yeah, Eric just sent over a name, and it was the guy I was trying to picture. I was picturing a bald guy that ended up playing for the Rams afterwards, I think, London Fletcher.
Well, he started with the
Started
Rams.
the Rams and then went over.
Went to Buffalo. It was only 4 seasons, which is why I'm hesitant on it. He spent more
Mm-hmm.
time. He spent more time in Washington, I think, than anywhere.
Right. Was Takeo Spikes there for just a minute?
Yeah, he wasn't there long either. They
I didn't
haven't
think so.
had anybody long since like Daryl Talley, but that's like the early 90s, and I don't consider him a all-pro. I don't think he was ever an all-pro.
Right. Fletcher is one of the guys that like consistently just racked up a ridiculous amount of tackles every year, wasn't he?
Like 110-ish,
Yeah.
probably. So you figure maybe 4 seasons at 110. Is that going to get him enough to be like his 450, 460, enough to make him the Bills' all-time leading tackler?
Right.
But if I had to pick between London Fletcher and Daryl Talley, I'd probably lean towards Fletcher because Daryl Talley is not. There's no way Daryl Talley's in the College Football Hall of Fame. If he is, that's like the NBA and everybody's in then just
All right.
so I say we go London Fletcher.
Agree.
All right, we're checking in with London Fletcher. Was it Baker or something like that? We'll just say Fletcher for now, unless you want us with the other part.
That's fine. And can we cover the spread? What did you guys have?
Yeah, we went back and forth. Like, we couldn't think of any of the linebackers or that played for them in their Super Bowl run. And I mean, so the only linebacker we could cumulatively come together was London Fletcher also. Neither one of us had a clue. I don't even know where he went to college, let alone him being in the College Football Hall of Fame. So, but we checked in with London Fletcher.
Neither team receiving points on this one.
Ooh,
Went to the University of West Virginia.
it's Daryl Talley.
Was a first-time All-Pro in 1990 and 1993. A Pro Bowler in 1990 and 1991. Consensus first-team All-American in 1983. The correct answer is Daryl Talley.
Never would have made him an College Football Hall of Famer.
You guys both were just, can't be Daryl Talley right off the bat. And I was just like, no, not a handsome man, but a good football player. All right. Let's move on to the final question in Sporting Haikus. 2-time Pro Bowler, now Jets wide receiver coach, Monmouth U legend.
Jake, we can check in.
Sounds good.
Okay. I'd rather have herpes as checked in. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out.
All right, so you think this is Wes Welker?
So initially I thought Wes Welker. I know he's a wide receiver coach somewhere, and I can't place where it is, so I feel like it might be San Francisco.
Well, San Francisco's not the Jets.
Sorry, Jet. Sorry, I was thinking Robert Saleh. I thought he brought him over because Welker spent some time in San Francisco. So I thought maybe he might have brought him over to his staff when he took over. But I honestly don't pay enough attention to wide receivers coaches in the NFL. No. Surprisingly,
Shockingly,
I don't.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Andre Rison's not a wide receiver coach anywhere, so I don't care. So, 2-time Pro Bowler seems a little low for Welker. only 2, but he also played in an era where there are a lot of good wide receivers, so a lot of competition for Pro Bowl votes, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
And I know he's a small school guy, so Monmouth would also make sense there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only clue I would have had to have gone off of, and I have no idea. I don't even know where Monmouth University is. Where is it? Is that upstate New York or something?
You just assume everything you don't know.
No, I don't know.
Upstate New York.
I just, for some reason, it sounds like something that would be up there, like it has a hockey team or something like that. It's right next to Rochester, or what is the? And now I'm just going to drive me insane. What's the school that beat Minnesota in the college in the Frozen Four championship?
Quinnipiac?
Quinnipiac, yeah.
Yeah, Monmouth it's a Northeast school. I don't know where it is, but
Oh, it is a Northeast school. Oh,
it is. Yeah, it is. I don't think. I don't know if
I
I don't think it's New York, though.
everything's in the Northeast, don't you? Oh.
No, I said upstate New York.
I don't know.
I don't think it's there.
There's a lot of towns up there. I
mean,
can
if
tell you
don't
it's
have
not
anything
in northern Minnesota or Wisconsin. I know that.
there. You want to go?
Okay,
with
let's
Welker?
just go with Wes Welker.
All right, we're gonna check in with Wes Welker.
Okay, and I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys have?
The pride of Monmouth College is either one of 2 people. It's either Reggie White Jr. or Miles Austin. We went with Miles Austin because I don't think Reggie White Jr. ever made a Pro Bowl.
Why do you know? Why do you know Reggie White Jr.? That's so weird. Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. One team is receiving points. The correct answer is Miles Austin. What? Reggie White Jr. Why do you know that? By the way, Monmouth is in West Long Branch, New Jersey.
That's close to upstate New York.
Yeah,
That's
so I mean, you were there.
It's low state New York. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The suburb of
Yeah.
Okay. So after the first quarter, we have Can We Cover the Spread with 50, and I'd rather have herpes with 75, which, let me reiterate, I'd rather have herpes is a team name, not reflective of your host's beliefs.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
And with that, let's move on to the second quarter, which is 5-on-3.
Five on 3. For this quarter, there will be 3 categorized lists containing 5 items, where each item is worth 10 points. The teams will attempt to guess as many items as they can. However, if a team has an incorrect guess, they will receive 0 points for that list.
Let's start it off here with 5-on-3. I want you to tell me who had the most rushing touchdowns in the 1990s.
You got one more?
You feel good about those ones, though, Eric? Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Easy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Definitely. I feel good about everything.
I think your original ones are good, and out of that last set you set,
Yeah.
the first and the last are. I could see either one of them potentially.
Okay. If you had to pick one of the 2, first or last.
Probably last, I think.
Let's roll. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, we're checked in.
Okay. I'd rather have herpes is checked in. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out.
All right, so the 2 were pretty confident, I think, on our Barry and Emmett, right?
Yeah, I came up with Emmett right off the jump. I thought that this is, probably a good bet.
He's got to have over 100, I would imagine.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel good about those 2. I listed some other names, right? Jerome Bettis, Marshall Falk, Curtis Martin. I'll tell you who we're not going to say. We're not saying Eddie George under any circumstances. He will
Why?
not be one of our answers because every freaking time I say Eddie George on one of these things, he's never on it, and he won't be on this one.
Okay.
You brought up Ricky Waters. I like that.
He had a lot of touchdowns, I thought.
He did.
I mean,
Yeah,
and he
no,
played if I recall correctly, he played the entire decade.
He did play the entire decade, and that's a little bit of Know Your Host too, because Marcus is a Ricky Waters guy. So that also, I think, makes sense. What about like Garrison Hurst? Something I know he got hurt in I think he got hurt in 2000, right? I think he was.
Well,
he
some
was
of the
playing
names that we
in the
brought up,
mid-90s.
you said Thurman Thomas. I don't think
I did not say. I did not say
you
Thurman
said
Thomas.
you said Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
I was thinking Thurman Thomas, but Thurman Thomas didn't last the entire decade, did he?
No.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he had enough.
And I said Terrell Davis, but
Same thing.
Terrell Davis only played 5 or 6 years in the 90s.
Yeah, and he only broke out the last couple of years.
94, 93.
But he didn't really
Yeah, I mean that's when he kind of came out. He didn't start
90s.
getting good until 97.
Yeah. Marshall Faulk is the other one that you bring up a good point.
I'm hesitant about him because I thought he got a lot of his touchdowns receiving and not rushing.
Yeah, he did. That's a tough one. He played most of the decade and was obviously excellent. I don't know. Maybe should we just go with 3? Should we go with Emmett, Barry, and Ricky Waters? I do like Ricky Waters.
Those are the 3 that I am comfortable going with.
All right, let's do that. All right, Marcus, we're going to check in with Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and Ricky Waters.
Okay, and I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys come up with?
So, I mean, the first 2, it's Barry and Emmett, easily.
Yep.
Ricky Waters, without a doubt. So then I threw Allen over at Jake, but I told him not the one that you would think originally, because most people forget that Terry Allen had a sneaky good 90s. People forget about him all the time. So I'm pretty confident he's up there. And then I threw at Jake again, 3 more names. I had Thurman Thomas, Chris Warren, and Marcus Allen. And I had him pick the last one. And Jake, you went with
Marcus Allen.
So that's going to be our 5. Barry, Emmett, Terry Allen, Marcus Allen, and Ricky Waters.
Both teams are receiving points.
Whoa.
Heck yeah.
Surprisingly, though, okay, we'll go in order here. Emmitt Smith, 136, far and away the leader. Barry Sanders was second with 85. Ricky Waters was third with 70. And then Terry Allen, who is a favorite of mine. I loved Terry Allen. He has 68. And then Marcus Allen with 60 rounds it out. But right behind him, the next 4 guys are all guys who were discussed by both teams. Terrell Davis with 58.
Oh, he's right there.
Thurman Thomas, 57. Chris Warren, 50. Marshall Faulk, 49. And then you go right after that in Rodney Hampton, Curtis Martin, Natron Means, Jerome Bettis.
How far down is Marion Butts?
Marion Butts is, let's see, another 5 players down. He had 4 before.
Oh, he should have been way higher.
He should have been way higher. And then way down even farther, Eddie George with 28.
Yeah.
Marcus Allen played through most of the 90s. I don't remember that. I thought he retired mid or early 90s.
He shifted to Kansas City,
99?
right?
Yeah,
Kansas City right at the end.
Either 98 or 99. Because you had those years in Kansas City where he was more of just a touchdown guy. He was their goal line guy.
Right.
He wasn't big rock
taking
carrier.
Taking touches away from Barry Word.
Wow. Jeez. All right. Great job, both teams. Let's move on to question number 2 in 5-on-3. I want you to tell me who has the most goals in Champions League history.
Jeez. We'll check in.
All right. I'd rather have herpes has checked in. Can we cover the spread? You have about 2.5 minutes. Talk it out.
Matt, you have 2.5 minutes to talk it out.
I don't think there's much to talk out. I mean, pretty much got to think of guys who are dominant scorers and guys who are constantly playing in the Champions League. So like guys like Harry Kane, who would be a dominant scorer in the Champions League, just isn't in there every year because the teams he play for doesn't always make it. So guys that are always there, Messi is always in the Champions League. So he's got to be way up there.
Okay.
Ronaldo, when he played for Man U, was always in the Champions League. So he's got to be up there. And the only team that's almost always from the Bundesliga is Lewandowski. So he's got to be up there.
You know I'm good with that one.
And then Madrid is always there, but Madrid has had a whole ton of different scorers. So I would have no confidence in pulling somebody, like Gonzalez or somebody on the list. So I have no idea. I know Thomas Muller's in the top 10, but I don't think he's in the top 5. I know he's like number 1 all time with assists for the Champions League, but so I think I'm comfortable with going with Messi, Ronaldo, and Lewandowski. If you're okay with that,
I am.
All right, that's what we're gonna check in with, Marcus.
Okay, and I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys have?
It's Ronaldo, Messi, easily. Lewandowski, how this Matt likes to say it, because I guess he says it properly, but I pronounce letters. And the one guy is from Madrid. I'm pretty sure he's in there. Is Karim Benzema.
Yes.
And I mean, there's 100 other names I could probably throw with there. Like, was it Ibrahimovic, like Mueller, all those other guys. Dieter Droba. It's one of my favorite soccer names of all time. But anyway, so we just went with the 4.
Matt, how did you forget eczema? The guy that you just said.
Benzema.
All right. Both teams are receiving points. Great job, guys. Ronaldo, number 1 with 141 career Champions League goals. Messi, number 2 with 129. Lewandowski, you know what it is.
Pronounce the W as a V. That's the way they pronounce it.
Right.
Anyway,
Right. How Germans do it. We speak American here, okay, Matt? No, I'm just kidding.
he's Polish. And that's the way the Polish people pronounce it.
Okay.
Pierogi, you pronounce all the letters.
Oh, the sausage.
So Lewandowski, 91 in 3rd. Right behind him with 90, Karim Benzema at number 4. And Matt, you said it, for Real Madrid, number 5, Raul Gonzalez with 71.
I wouldn't have. I had no confidence.
Didn't have the
that,
confidence.
So.
You know what, Matt? I'm not mad at you. He sounds like a second baseman in the MLB. So,
out of curiosity, where's Thomas Mueller on that list? Do you know? Do you have a longer than just a 5? Or
I do. Mueller is 8th with 53.
Okay,
Yeah, you called 10.
Thierry Henry is 51. Ibrahimovic is 11 with 49. Drogba is 16th with 44. Yeah.
Mbappe is going to be at the top of that list by the time he retires.
He is.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. He is already at 19 with 40.
Yeah. He'll within 5 years he'll be in the top 10, and within 5 more years he'll probably be at the top of that list.
Let's see.
PSG will always be in the Champions League too.
Right.
Is he sticking around?
He has a crazy long contract with them.
Yeah, but I heard he was pissed.
Everyone on that team is pissed at each other for everything, all the time. They're in constant. That's why the managers only last like a season and a half.
Here's a good one. Number 6, Van Nistelrooy. I don't know who the hell that
From the
is.
Netherlands.
Yeah. It's
And
one of those orange-wearing bastards.
Shevchenko is 7 with 59. All right. Let's go to the final question in 5-on-3. And it wouldn't be a game by me if there wasn't a UFC question. So I want you to tell me who the 5 men are who have held the UFC featherweight title. And that is 136 to 145 pounds.
I couldn't pull a single name of a featherweight UFC fighter, so
I'm wondering if we go Raul Gonzalez this time.
Robert Lewandowski.
Because he's a little second baseman, I'm sure he's.
Let me say that I will say this. I picked this weight class specifically because there are names on here that that you've heard.
Okay.
Again, it's the same as last time. It's like I got a bunch of names that I know,
Yeah, no,
are featherweights, but I don't know if they've
Well-
ever held the title.
and it's not worth risking right now.
It might be though. I like
No.
gambling.
Yeah,
Me too.
we've been pushing the spread a little bit, haven't we? Not all the
Right.
way, but
Oh, make sure we cover. I'm gonna lose at least $200 on this game. All right, we'll check in.
I'd rather have herpes is checked in. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out.
I mean,
If we say 0 names or 1 name, it's kind of the same.
That is true.
So-
I mean, or
or
you say a name and you get points. Who knows?
yeah, that's not. I have the opposite of Eric, where he's like, I know a bunch of featherweights. I don't know if they were champion. I know a bunch of UFC champions, but I'm pretty sure they weren't featherweights. So,
Ken Shamrock wasn't a featherweight.
yeah, the Shamrocks, no.
They were not. Not that it mattered, because they both of them, most of their fights in their prime were when there were no weight classes.
When there were no, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just against your neighbor.
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock.
Hey, this guy's pretty tough. You want to fight in the UFC? All right. So you guys got anything?
I don't got anything. So,
All right. Well, we'll check in
give a
with
name. Yeah, pick a
let's-
name.
Yeah, we'll check in with 2 because 1 or 2 that are wrong is 0 regardless. So we're going to say Matt Doherty and Sean William Scott.
Sure.
We know that they had some beef back in the day.
Okay. And can we cover, I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys come up with?
Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, and then we pulled the plug and stopped.
One team is receiving points. The correct answers are Jose Aldo, who was then beaten by Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor relinquished the title or was stripped of it. Then it was won by Max Holloway. The current champion, who also, he's still the champion, but they created an interim belt because he's fighting for a second one, is Alexander Volkanovski. And the interim champion is Yair Rodriguez, who I figured nobody would ever get.
That's the Raul Gonzalez of this question.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. So, yeah, UFC never fails.
My only UFC knowledge at all is that Ben Askren is from right by, like, coaches my wrestling over here, and he's the guy that got knocked out in 6 seconds with the flying knee by Jorge.
Yeah,
That's
I feel
my
really
only
bad
UFC
for him because
knowledge.
he's like such an accomplished athlete, and that's all anybody's ever going to remember
Yes.
him for.
Totally. He's
and
fine.
getting knocked out by Jake Paul.
He didn't even train for that. He took.
I mean,
he took
you
his
could
million
say-
and smiled for that one.
you could
Yeah,
say
he
you could say he was Askren for it.
Yeah.
Oh boy! Wow. All right. After the second quarter, we have Can We Cover the Spread with 110, and I'd rather have herpes with 195. And now on to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
Okay, for halftime. I do love this freedom that we now have for halftime.
You're welcome.
Dumb.
So, what I've done is I very much enjoy a lot of the explain a film plot badly.
Mm.
But for me, I decided to do, I created my own tagline. So it's like a tagline for a horror movie badly. And you have to guess the horror movie based on my tagline for it. Does that make sense?
I thought you were gonna say I like the badly explained, so I over explained them for you. I thought we were getting over explained.
No. Because I was starting to do the explain a film plot badly, but then I'm like, these are too short. And I'm like, these are more like taglines.
Yeah.
So these are my bad horror film taglines for halftime. All right. So let's see how you guys do with number one. Number one is when spelunking with the girls goes horribly wrong.
Checked in.
What?
Okay. And this is a rare occurrence. I know that everybody knows we edit the show. That was an immediate check-in from Scott. So so covering Can We Cover the Spread has checked in, and I'd rather have herpes. You guys can talk it out.
Yeah, nothing.
I know what spelunking is. I mean,
yep. So there's caves involved. Good.
Okay,
good.
so horror movie involving a cave is The Descent or The Hills Have Eyes. Which one? I'm gonna say the Descent.
Sounds great.
All right, we're checked in with The Descent.
Okay, and Can We Cover the Spread? What did you guys have?
So I don't normally go into business for myself. Okay. And I don't like to self-promote my other podcast because I promised I wouldn't do that. However, I have a nostalgia cast called People Don't Forget. Some of you may have been on it. Some of you may have heard of it. Jake, I'll get you on one day because there's no scores, so you can't really just be undefeated. So that's fine. You're more than one. You're not an enemy on that one, so you're more than one.
Good.
Yeah, and I had an entire episode with the girls from Freaky Franchise on horror movies in the 2000s, and we talked a little bit about this one. The answer is The Descent, and Marcus, that is an excellent tagline.
Thank you. And yes, both teams receiving points. All right, let's move on to question 2 and halftime. Bad horror film taglines. Maybe going on a vacation abroad while grief-stricken was a really bad idea. The flowers are pretty, at least.
We're checked in.
Yeah. We'll do
I was
it.
waiting for somebody.
Conviction.
Okay.
With conviction,
Super
we're
confident.
checked in.
With a super confident check-in and conviction, I'd rather have herpes.
I'd much rather have herpes right now.
And they have checked in, those guys. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out.
So Matt doesn't watch horror movies.
Nope.
This one is a lot more broad than the very, very specific, when Spelunking with the girls goes, where there's only one movie that could have been. This one is a little bit more broad because, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of horror films that start with people on vacation. I don't know what I don't know what the flowers means. I was thinking hostel because like you go on vacation abroad, people stay in a hostel. So I was kind of off of that clue. But now I'm like, the flowers, I don't really know what that means. I don't know if Marcus would have heard of this other movie that I'm thinking of. So I don't even know if that would be it. But it's like a movie where actual flowers are like infecting people. And I think they're on vacation. That's called The Ruins. I believe it's called The Ruins.
He's actively trying not to react.
I know, and I feel like because of that, we're going to check in with The Ruins.
Okay, and I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys have?
I don't know what the flowers mean. Maybe there's a flower called a hostel. I don't know, but we said hostel.
Neither team is receiving points. I guess I thought the flowers was a hint because every graphic of this movie that you see, there's the very lovely Florence Pugh draped in flowers. The correct answer is Midsommar.
Mid what?
Sommar. Sommar. It's the weirdest horror movie I've ever seen. It's so weird and it's so creepy and like. Yeah, it's a hard watch. Like it's one of those ones that you watch and you're like, oh, that was crazy. I don't think I'm ever gonna watch that again.
That was me with Inception, not a horror movie, but
yeah. All right, well, I can tell that one hit. So here we go. Let's finish this thing out. All right, number 3. You're the real dummy if you scream.
Look at you, Matt, for someone who doesn't watch horror movies, throwing out a reference.
You did send that to everyone, by the way.
Right, to everyone.
He wanted to show everyone that he knew one thing about horror. I don't think that's it anyway, Matt, so it's fine. I don't care that you did that.
Mark your bingo cards. This is an audio medium, but I wish you all could have seen Matt's reaction when I revealed that he sent it to everyone. Fantastic.
Speaking of Mark, your bingo cards and the bingo cards. Hi, Mark.
This is a regular game. other people listen to it other than Mark. Hi, George and Philip and Carl.
Whoa,
Love you guys.
We don't have accountants that listen. What are you talking about?
I'm sure there's at least one. Hi, Gregory.
Gregory.
I just made somebody's day. All right, leave him alone.
I mean, Matt kind of gave an answer for everyone.
It's not? I thought it was.
Maybe it is.
I don't know. I've not seen it.
Yeah, I guess it would be. But the other part doesn't connect it really at all, though.
But the second part does.
100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we connect to half of it. It's better than none of
I'm
it,
not.
right?
I'm not going to spend too much time on this unless you would like to.
No, I don't have anything else I can. Because the only other thing that came to mind that's similar, but I don't think makes sense either, and I never saw, was this.
I think that was about.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So because that came to my mind too, but I think it. You know the other part.
Yep.
So either we go with The Hills Have Eyes, or
Matt's suggestion.
Or Matt's
Has anybody
suggestion.
checked in?
No. I'm just gonna list horror movies that I know it's not. So The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. Urban Legend.
Precious.
Was a horror movie this summer.
The Blind Side is a horror movie.
Oh God.
There you go.
I like
The Blind Side is
refuse to
basically
watch that
just
movie.
Male Precious.
Just because of you, Marcus, I refuse to watch that
Thank
movie.
you, Matt. Thank you.
Favorite horror movie I've ever seen is Draft Day. Yeah, let's
we'll
just,
check in.
Yeah.
I'd rather have herpes as checked in. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out, I suppose.
So Matt told everyone that dummy, so Chucky.
I thought he was
what
calling
Matt
us all dummies.
told everyone. He was talking about John Gruden. I don't know how he came up. I don't. Initially, yeah, you're the real dummy. You think like Chucky or the boy or Brahms or whatever the hell that was. But I was taken off of you're the real dummy if you scream. I feel like I know how their conversation went. It went A Quiet Place. Yeah, that would work for the second half.
Yeah.
Well, having half is better than nothing. Oh, it could be Bird Box. No, I think Bird Box is eyes. That's what I was thinking. So between Matt's suggestion of Chucky, which kind of fits the first half, and A Quiet Place, which kind of fits the second half, I feel more inclined to say A Quiet Place. So as long as you're good with that, Matt, let's check that in.
Sure.
All right, A Quiet Place.
Okay. And I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys have?
Get out of my head, Scott. Get out of my head. Stop.
No.
It was pretty obvious.
Jokes on Scott. It was between A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2. So
and The Hills Have Eyes
Yes.
too.
Yes.
and Jeepers Creepers.
The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, we said A Quiet Place.
Neither team is receiving points.
Oh.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place too.
Chucky.
No.
It is.
It is not Child's
TOO.
Play either. One of my favorite horror movies that nobody seemed to either see or like, apparently, is called Dead Silence. That is the correct answer. And in the movie, the
Oh,
ghost
it had that dummy,
controls all
didn't
these
it?
dolls. She can only kill you if you scream.
Mhm.
So, yep.
Never seen it.
All right. So started off strong, ended poorly. Let's get out of
I was waiting for House of Wax to come up, but I was very disappointed. The rest of this episode, I'm just naming random horror movies.
Marcus, can you give
us
us one for House of Wax?
When
when a porn
do you
star
want to see
tries
Paris
to
Hilton
act?
die? Do you hate Paris Hilton? That's the tagline, at least for the newer one. All right. After halftime, we have a score of Can We Cover the Spread with 135, and I'd rather have herpes with 220. And now on to the second half.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
And your third quarter will be the missing link.
The Missing Link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
Okay, missing link. Question 1. What Hall of Fame coach has the most AFL championship wins, has a Super Bowl title, and is largely responsible for Gatorade being introduced to the NFL due to his close friendship with Florida head coach Ray Graves?
Marcus, we're going to check in.
Can we cover the spread? It has checked in. I'd rather have herpes. You guys can talk it out.
I don't have much
Is he
other
Kansas
than
City?
yes. He's the everybody knows him for 65 toss power trap, like that whole NFL films thing. So Hank Stram's is the in my head like the main AFL coach of all time.
Sure. And the Chiefs only won one in the early years, right?
One Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about the Gatorade. I don't know about his friendships with Ray Graves.
Right.
Maybe they were hung out together. Who knows? Maybe they both have herpes. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm good with that, Eric.
All right, we're gonna check in with herpes riddled Hank Stram.
Wow. All right. And can we cover the spread? What did you guys come up with?
Yeah, we said the same thing.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Exact same words.
Let me clear this up.
I said,
Go ahead.
I said, dude was absolutely covered in herpes. It was ridiculous.
They called him the Wilt Chamberlain of head coaching.
Okay, I can't. Oh, no. All right. I thought of something very horrible. Okay, so both teams are receiving points. The correct answer is allegedly riddled with herpes. Hank Stram.
No way he wasn't. There's no way he wasn't.
Yeah, and Eric, you're right.
If he was friends with Ray Graves, it's just what it comes along with it.
They called it Gatorade. Yeah, I always when I think of Hank Stram, I always think of 65 toss power trap. Yeah.
And herpes.
Yeah. So like in the early stages of Gatorade, they were like, "Oh, we're making this new thing here. Why don't you like introduce it to the NFL?" Basically. So, yep. And now you can gamble on what color they use at the Super Bowl.
Not New York.
Gatorade, it's got what plants need.
Yeah, it's got what plants. Great. We're basically in that time frame, Matt. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your theme-linked answer so far is Hank Stram. On to question 2 in the missing link. What former third-round pick was once the 10th player ever to rush for 1,000 yards and pass for 1,000 yards in the same season in college, and also claims a national championship as a head coach? His next coaching stop wasn't as kind.
Let's go with it.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Okay. We're checked in.
I'd rather have herpes is checked in. Can we cover the spread? You guys can talk it out.
Yeah, this is Scott Frost. We were just trying to waste time by sussing out the the missing link. So we'll check in with Scott Frost.
I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys come up with?
Yeah, we also said Scott Frost. His UCF Magical Championship.
Never forget the national champion UCF Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams are receiving points. The correct answer is Scott Frost. And Matt, I kind of figured when Scott went, oh, I was like, oh, I bet you Matt was all over this. It was just like, hey, just chill. Yeah. So obviously they they literally had national championship shirts and hats made, and they are like trying to hang a banner in their stadium or something like that. And now he's unemployed. So
Yeah, where is he? Is he coaching anywhere, or is he?
I don't think so right now. Let me check real quick.
It's just I just think it was a bad idea to bring him here. Just to seem it's just. I
Yeah.
knew that this. I mean,
It's tough.
I don't. I mean, I don't think. And this, everyone thinks this Matt Rule is going to come in and all of a sudden just be dominant. And I'm like, but they still have to recruit people.
Lincoln.
Although I will say,
Nebraska.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's where I think like the NIL really helps, because
It can change the game.
Nebraska has money to throw at people, so
Yes.
I think the NIL stuff. I think they can get better
If they want to play that game, they absolutely can.
they can absolutely play that game.
Right? I mean, it's
What else is there? And
I mean, that's Hunter Dickinson leaving Michigan. Why? Because I can get millions at Kansas and 100,000
he's brave
at Michigan.
though. He's a brave soul.
I'm sure is.
What a dick. What a dick thing to say.
What a Dickinson.
Yeah. And
Barely Dickinson.
I was watching.
Barely kicked in our Dickinson.
I was watching the Georgia Southern game, and as soon as that game was over, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna get fired for sure." Okay, so your theme linked answers so far are Hank Stram and Scott Frost.
I know
Let's move
this
on.
is an audio medium, but Ede just spent 2 minutes with his head rocked
Staring
back,
straight
staring into the ceiling.
Oh,
It was
man.
like
Yeah.
either the quickest and most intense creative session I've ever seen, or it was something.
Oh man!
You just remembered
looked
I was his
You look like
teammate.
Reamer in basketball, where he's like, "Today, people have attention spans that can be only measured in nanoseconds." All right, question 3: What 4-time All-Star and Naismith Hall of Famer was named to the 75 greatest players list and has his number retired by 2 different franchises? Both teams could call him a savior.
We'll go ahead and check in.
Okay. Can we cover the spread as checked in? You can't really talk it out, but I'd rather have herpes. What's your answer?
We get talk it out time now. They checked in, damn it.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but the
time's
time
up.
is already up.
I didn't hear a timer go. I didn't know we had
Well,
a timer for this
he said it
question.
for 5 hours again.
Oh, all right.
Well, it went off a while ago. I just wanted to give you guys extra time because clearly I didn't write a good enough question.
I was trying to think of somebody. You said Jesus Shuttlesworth, so Ray Allen, but there's no way he only made 4 All-Star teams, so that gets him out. And then I vaguely remember, I think Earl Monroe. I mean, I think his nickname was Black Jesus.
Mm.
But I think more than 4. So whatever.
Yeah.
I think that
Go with that one.
Let's go with Earl Monroe.
Yep.
Okay, and can we cover the spread? What did you guys have?
Dude, if I'm right, this is crazy. Only because I know he played for the Bullets and the Knicks. I thought he had his number retired by both. I said Earl the Pearl Monroe. I didn't know his nickname was Black Jesus, but so yeah.
Black Jesus, the Pearl, both teams receiving points. The correct answer is Earl Monroe.
Wow.
Come on.
Yes, he only has 4 All-Star games. He was All NBA once. But let's see, his high school coach called him Thomas Edison because of all the moves he invented. And you said Jesus Shuttlesworth, which is hilarious because in the movie there's that speech by Denzel where he's like, "I named you after Earl Monroe, Black Jesus." So, all right.
Why I know that.
Glad you both
All right.
got there because I was really scared there. Okay. So your theme linked answers so far are Hank Stram, Scott Frost, and Earl Monroe. Moving on to question number 4. What MLB pitcher drafted in 2019 has spent his career thus far with one team? He's the last pitcher to hit a home run before the implementation of the universal DH and signed a 5-year, $90 million contract extension just 2 weeks into the current season?
You're gonna know this one better than me. So if you have a
Okay. Then
If you
in
have
that
even-
case, we'll check in.
Can we cover the spread has checked in? I'd rather have herpes. You can talk it out.
I hate baseball, so I know nothing here.
Well, buckle up because that's about to be the only thing you're going to watch and be able to watch in a couple of weeks.
That's why summer's so exciting.
Oh wait, never mind. What I thought there was a Pirates or Reds guy that did it. But he said the first 2 weeks of the season. So that was just I thought I just heard about this like the other day. So this is not the first 2 weeks of the season.
5-90 isn't huge, right? That's like good but not great.
For somebody, but this early,
Right.
So it has to be the NL. So that
Mhm.
takes not big name, like a young pitcher in the. I got much of nothing on this one.
Yep. Same.
I wish I could at least think of a pitcher that would hit a home run, and I got nothing. Oh, jeez.
Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, it's gonna be my. Jeez, I got nothing. Wow.
he was closer to the 1919 draft.
Well, you and David sat next to each other at it, so
We did, yes. Pulled shots of whiskey out of our dad's flasks. It was awesome.
2019 draft. I think that's the Bobby Witt draft. I don't know. Only pitcher I can think of. He's not NL, so that's not going to help.
It's pronounced Vit.
Bobby Witt.
just like Katarina.
Bobby Fitz Jr.
I got nothing. Let's go with Oral Hershiser Jr.
Junior.
Reggie White Jr. and now Oral Hershiser Jr. Oh, man. All right. Can we cover the spread? What did you guys have?
I just had to go off of someone that I knew signed an extension recently. I was trying to think of a couple guys that might have done that. And then it also made sense that maybe he would hit a home run because he was a two-way star when he got drafted, which was around 2019. So I could be way off, but we checked in with Hunter Green.
Neither team is receiving points. This guy, you described him perfectly, Eric. And Jake, you guys both were like, he's good, but not great. I mean, that's pretty good money. He's solid. He finished in 2022. He finished 11th in the Cy Young voting. The correct answer is for the San Francisco Giants, Logan Webb. Okay, so your theme-linked answers are Hank Stram, Scott Frost, Earl Monroe, and Logan Webb. I mean, I'll just come out and say it. Both teams should probably just submit something, so because it doesn't matter after this.
Go with it, Jake.
I mean, I submitted something.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, sorry, Matt. I said something over because, why not?
Sure.
Okay, let's move on to question 5 in the missing link. What school has had 17 NCAA tournament appearances in 2 different conferences since 2000, and whose NBA first-round picks include Tyrone Hill, Brian Grant, James Posey, and Jordan Crawford?
Checked in.
Can we cover the spread as checked in? I'd rather have herpes. You guys can talk it out.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if the theme we're going with is right, then we're going to go with Xavier here.
And can we cover the spread? What did you guys come up with?
Tyrone Hill. That dude looked 39 years old when he was drafted. I loved Tyrone Hill back in the 90s.
Ugly man.
Oh, my God. We also checked in with Xavier.
Both teams are receiving points. The correct answer is Xavier. So your theme-linked answers are Hank Stram, Scott Frost, Earl Monroe, Logan Webb, and Xavier. Both teams submitted because I told them to before the first, after question 4. One just a tiny bit sooner. So Scott, why don't you tell us what you guys submitted?
We were trying to figure out for the longest time, like how Hank and Scott went together, or Frost, and all these different things. We had a lot of different ideas, but then once the answer ended up being Logan Webb, one of the first things I think of when I hear Logan is Wolverine. So that kind of led me, and then I went back and said, "Oh yeah, Scott Summers and Hank is Beast, right?" So we checked in with X-Men characters.
And I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys submit?
Yeah, we exact same logic and have no idea who Earl the X-Man is.
Well,
That was the one I struggled with too, but I was like, you know what?
Is it Gambit? Maybe Gambit? I don't know.
Here we go. So Hank is Hank McCoy or Beast. 2 is kind of a twofer. You could go Scott Summers or you could do Emma Frost.
Yeah.
Aurora Monroe or Storm. Logan, obviously Wolverine, and Xavier, Xavier. Even though anybody who's went to Xavier will say it's Xavier, it's not Xavier. So yes, X-Men characters is correct. So great job, guys. I'm glad you guys got there. And
I had no idea that Aurora's last name was Monroe till today.
well,
So-
you got to learn some nerdy today. Sorry. After the third quarter, the score is tightened up a bit. Can we cover the spread? Is at 315. And I'd rather have herpes is in the lead with 350. And with that, we go on to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total. Put your fours up, baby.
The categories for today's fourth quarter are as follows. We Are the Captain Now, Fixing to Pick, Triple X, and Two-Way Street. We Are the Captain Now is in the NHL. Fixing to Pick is the NBA Draft. Triple X is the XFL. And Two-Way Street is the NFL. And now it is time for the teams to place their wagers. And now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question 1 in the fourth quarter in We Are the Captain Now. Mark Giordano was the first captain in Kraken history before he was traded away midway through their inaugural season. The Kraken currently have 4 alternate captains and no actual captain. Please name any 2 of the 4 players who sport the A for the team currently.
Marcus, we can check in.
Can We Cover the Spread has checked in. I'd rather have herpes, which again is a team name. You guys can talk it out.
Eric, you can talk it out.
Oh, I want to get all 4. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. You're a dick.
I only know Matty Berniers because he went to Michigan. That's it. That's all I got.
He's not an alternate captain.
Yeah, no, I know.
Jordan Everly.
He's also maybe the slowest player in the open ice that I've ever
That's
seen.
awesome.
He's so slow.
Tyler Luis Mendoza. He's
No, he's the opposite.
yeah,
He'll put the puck out in front of him, and then people will beat him to it. It's insane. Anyways,
So it's Jordan Everly, Jaden Schwartz, Yanni Gord, and I'm pretty sure the last one's Adam Larson.
what 2 names are you going to check in with there, buddy?
I'm pretty sure. Let's go with Yanni Gord and Adam Larson.
Okay, and can we cover the spread? What did you guys have?
We checked in with Scott Grimes and Jason Biggs for 0 points.
Ours was for 100 points.
You couldn't even give me Chris Klein, bro.
I had Chris Klein written down and I crossed it out. And I thought,
I think he put it down because he knows you would have gone in the pie with him.
yeah,
With Jason.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
I thought Jason Biggs was more funny than Chris Klein. But
All right. Well, one team is receiving points. The correct answers are Yanni Gord, Jordan Eberle, Adam Larson, and Jaden Schwartz are all alternate captains, and their captainship is open, and I don't know honestly who they would want to have it. Don't seem to be in a hurry to figure it out anyways.
It's not that important.
It's not. It's not that important. You're right. It isn't. Moving on to question 2 in fixing the pick. Who is the first team to be a repeat NBA lottery winner? They have the most lottery wins overall, but haven't made the pick in every instance via trades.
Yeah, so I feel very, very confident that that's it.
Okay.
So
We're gonna go
Marcus,
check in.
yep.
Okay, can we cover the spread? Has checked in. I'd rather have herpes. You guys can talk it out.
You say Clippers. I think it's the Magic.
I'm good with that too. The Clippers just always sucked for so long.
Yeah, but I don't remember them ever repeating where I know the Magic didn't, was it 92, 93?
Mm-hmm.
But didn't make the pick in 90, or what made the pick, but traded, whatever that is. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I can't think of a back-to-back Clippers season.
No.
But I want to say they're both 4-time winners, so it's
Right.
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say we go Magic just because I know they went repeat.
Yep. Good with that.
All right, we're checking with the Magic for 50 points.
Okay, and can we cover the spread? What did you guys have?
Yeah, we had kind of the same conversation. Well, I know we need to talk about the Clippers, but what was the other team that you mentioned?
The Cavs are the other one because they have 4, and they had 13 and 14, Bennett and Wiggins.
Yeah, and then I went with I said, well, wait, now what about Shaq and Penny? And Scott said, well, no, they didn't draft Penny, and then the whole thing about this. So, but they still had the number 1 overall pick, blah blah blah. So yeah, we also checked in with Orlando Magic for 100 points, the most important points ever.
I'm really going through it today. Neither team technically is receiving points, but yeah.
Who did the what?
So I didn't say back-to-back on purpose. What I meant was like the first team to win the lottery multiple times. Is how I meant it to come across. So
like the first team to win it
a second time.
Yeah.
I see.
So I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because you guys both said the same thing.
Well, who was the first team to win it twice then?
The Clippers.
Because Manning in 88.
So okay.
They won the lottery in 1986. They didn't make the pick. The Cleveland Cavaliers did.
Right, Brad
Doherty. And then
88 Manning.
The Clippers won in 88, and they did select Danny Manning. The Clippers have won the lottery 5 times, but have only made 3 of those picks. All right. So now that I thoroughly confused everyone the way I worded a question, but it didn't matter because both teams had the same answer. Let's move on to question 3 and ignore me completely.
The first repeat XFL champion? Is that what?
in triple X, because this is the third iteration of the XFL. The 4-6 Arlington Renegades upset the 10-1 DC Defenders to win the 2023 XFL championship. Who is named MVP? He was a national champion at Texas A&M Commerce and was awarded the Harlan Hill Trophy as the best player in Division II in 2017, and has had stints in the previous version of the XFL, the USFL, and the AAF. So just tell me who was the MVP of the XFL championship. That's all I need. Here's some extra stuff for you guys in case you need it.
We're going to check in.
Okay. I'd rather have herpes has checked in. Can we cover the spread? You can talk it out.
So when I found out that Marcus was hosting today, because I remember that the XFL championship was this weekend. So I Googled it just to find out. I knew that DC was playing and something about a team from Arlington, and I didn't understand. And so I looked and I checked that Arlington beat the DC Defenders.
I knew that, yeah.
And I so that's why I was pretty sure that we'd be able to get something out of this one. The only name that I can remember on that one is somebody named Perez. Don't know the first name.
We don't
know
need
if
the
this is
first name.
MVP. Never heard of it before, but all I know is that I thought, yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. We'll check in with Perez for 15 points.
And I'd rather have herpes. What did you guys come up with?
Yeah, it's I don't know the first name. I just know last name's Perez. So we checked in with Perez for 100 points.
Both teams are receiving points. The correct answer is Texas A&M Commerce legend Luis Perez.
Sounds like he should be a second baseman. Again, this is
Texas
Yeah,
who?
and,
Where did he go to school?
Texas A&M Commerce.
Oh, okay.
the money school.
They sell a lot of lettuce.
So this is him after graduating from college and being the D2 Player of the Year. Not selected into 2018, and he was in rookie minicamp at the Rams, and was cut and signed to the practice squad and then released. Then he played for the Birmingham Iron, and he was the 5th overall pick in the AAF. Then he, after they suspended operations, he signed with Philly and then was waived like a month later. Signed with Detroit, waived 4 days later. He was selected by the LA Wildcats in the 2020 XFL draft. And then they folded, or the league ceased operations. He signed a contract with the New York he was traded to the New York Guardians. Then he was on the Guardians. Then he played in the USFL for the New Jersey Generals. Back with the Rams, signed and then released a month later, and then was selected by the Vegas Vipers in this 2023 XFL draft, and then was traded midway through the season to the Arlington Renegades, and then led them to a championship. So that's Luis Perez's life.
This dude's got a lot of sky miles.
Yeah. And you know what? Good for him. Good for you, Luis. We're all proud of you. Okay, let's go to the final question of today's game, and that is in the category of two-way street. What NFL player had the 5th most receiving yards and 4th most receiving touchdowns in the 1980s, despite being drafted into the league as a cornerback? In 1981, he became the first player in 24 years to have a receiving touchdown and an interception in the same game. And John Madden once regarded him as not just the best wide receiver, but the best player in the entire league.
All right, Marcus, we're checked in.
Oh,
all right. Can we cover the spread as checked in? And for the final time tonight, I'd rather have herpes. You guys can talk it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture this stupid dude. It's a Cardinals wide receiver.
I literally can only think of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character. Rattenwell.
It's Cuba Gooding Jr.
I can picture his stupid. It was like 1990 pro set football card.
Oh.
For some reason, I wish I knew why I liked him as a player, and I don't know his name anymore. Green comes to mind, but I'm thinking it might be Darryl Green, and it's killing me. So I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same stupid time frame. But I will. I just recently edited an episode, and Marcus said this to me during the episode. He says if it comes to mind, it's got to be there for a reason. So I say Green. Green. All I got is the last name. I'm going to say Green. If you're good with it, let's go with it.
Sounds good.
We're gonna go with Green for 100 points.
Okay, and can we cover the spread? What did you guys come up with?
Yeah, we struggled on this one too. So we were trying to think of a name that would kind of sum up our game in a nutshell here. So we've already shouted out Sean William Scott, Jason Biggs, and Chris Klein. So we checked in for 100 points with Eddie K. Thomas.
Oh, that caught me off guard. All right. One team is receiving points.
Seriously? It's Darryl
Eddie
Green?
K. Thomas.
It's not
No.
Darryl.
No, it's not Darryl Green, but he did say the last name Green. And the correct answer from the Arizona Cardinals, Roy Green.
That's it.
I wrote I said I have no clue, but Daryl Green. I know it's wrong, but so if we would have done Green,
Yeah,
that's
you
amazing.
should. Yeah. Drafted in 1979 in the 4th round by the Cardinals. He was a DB and kick returner. And then in 1981, injuries forced them to, play him part-time at wide receiver. And he had 708 yards on 33 catches. So he was averaging 21.5 per catch. And then after that, just went on a tear. And so in the 1980s, he was 5th in receiving yards and 4th in receiving touchdowns, and he didn't even play receiver in college.
That's an impressive stat.
It is very impressive. And for John Madden, who's seen a lot of football, to be like, this guy's the best player in the league, that's pretty high praise. And that just came up out of nowhere. I was looking at something else, and then Roy Green came up, and I was like, I have no idea who this is.
Who?
So yeah, exactly. So, and that, kids, is how you end up writing questions, because you go, I've never heard of that before, and you're usually looking to write something else, and that stuff pops up. All right. The game has come to an end, and here are the final scores. Giving some fantastic answers throughout. Can we cover the spread? Finishes with 130.
And we cannot.
And they cannot cover the spread because I'd rather have herpes are our winners and receiving the coveted Stetson Bennett Award with 600 points is, again, I'd rather have herpes. Mortal enemies have emerged victorious. Jake Manne, enemy of the pod, you freshly received your Stetson Bennett / I guess we can call him the Van Wilder of college football.
That was the best news story of the week.
How do you
man.
feel?
The best news story of the week was Stetson Bennett not graduating after all these years.
Even though he's been at Georgia for 6 years.
What is he doing?
I didn't see that. He didn't.
He's not graduating, and he's been
he's not even trying to graduate.
Community college. Yeah, he's not even trying. He's just like, I don't care.
He's really excited for his career as an XFL quarterback.
I can't wait for him. I can't wait to run into him at Best Buy.
No, that's the best part is that Sean McVay, in all of his wisdom, Mr. Guru, said, I'm going to spend a 4th round pick on Stetson Bennett. Ugh, what a turd. Anyways.
The next Kurt Warner. He's stocking shelves at Best Buy.
That's right.
And getting hammered. Jake, it's always wonderful to have you on. You aren't an enemy of the pod, even though we like to say that a lot. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we get out of here?
No, it's great to be back on.
Oh my God, again with this guy?
And I'm glad there's lots of states distance between Eric and I, so you can't physically assault me, and we're good.
This is the least fun. This is the least fun I've ever had on an episode. I just want to go ahead and say that.
And my friends and I, Jake, have been discussing a couple years ago. We went to see Michigan, and then the Seahawks play the Colts. Well, we play at Michigan State this year, and then we play Detroit a couple days later, or the next night. So
you're doing
thinking
both
about doing Michigan State and then Ford Field. So
there you go.
Yeah.
State's going to be amazingly bad, so it should be fun.
Oh, it's going to be
when your starting quarterback comes out of your spring game and transfers the next day.
Leaves.
It's not good.
Well, and when you're returning the 2 most prolific receiver, was not named Marvin Harrison in the country, and your quarterback, who's the best quarterback not named Caleb Williams in the country, it's pretty exciting.
Especially for the first half of the season, because that's
so. Eric, Scott, Matt, you guys are all beautiful. And I love you dearly.
Love you, buddy.
And with that, I forgot the end because I gave away my
Thanks for listening to the...
I thought you were going to call yourself the Thomas Ian Nicholas of Benchwarmers.
He's in a band.
I'm the Marcus Houston of this podcast. And with that, thank you all for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
Where's my Veltrix? Hold on.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him. for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at BenchwarmersTP.